Alright, welcome back to Cajun Geek Reviews. This is Diaz bringing you my video review of Transformers Combiner Wars Voyager class Skylinks. Well, first off, let's take a look at the box. As you can see, your average Combiner Wars Voyager class box has some uh, artwork of Skylinks in the corner right here. A very nice picture of Skyrain on the side. The obligatory product shots and line art on the back along with his bio. See if I can get you to read the bio. There we go. Take a nice long look. Everyone got it? If not, pause it, read it, because it's gone. Now let's take a look at Mr. Personality himself, Skylynx. Now, as a Voyager class figure, Skylynx came packaged in his robot mode. I prefer going from vehicle to robot modes when it comes to reviews, so I already have him in a shuttlecraft mode. You can see in the background, I also have Generations 1 Skylynx for just an idea of what he's supposed to look like. Now, I have him on the flight stand that came with Masterpiece tracks, but he's not officially compatible with this flight stand. He has no, what is it, like a 2mm port that they fit into. What I actually have done here to give that nice in-flight look is I've stuck the peg right here where the combiner head is, right in between the head. Kind of see where I'm pointing at right here, if you can't. Right above the head, in between the bottom part. You could stick it and kind of balance it right there. And he's in a fight pose. Not the most dynamic of poses, but it works. Now, Skylynx in his vehicle mode is not so much a shuttle as I'd call it a space plane. It's a more futuristic take. Let me get out of the way. It's a more futuristic take on Skylynx's alt mode. It's more based off of the IDW comic books than what it is Generation 1, even though he does bear striking resemblance to Generation 1, as you can see in the background. Very similar color layout. If I had applied the stickers to the G1 Skylynx, you'd see the gold is in also similar positions. I do like the detailing on the Combiner Wars mode. It really pops at you if you look at it in the right light without the panel lining. It also includes some very nicely tempoed Autobot symbols on the wings and one on the rear thruster section. Now, since he is a space plane, he doesn't have much in the way of posability. The only thing you can really move on here is his little tail wings. I wouldn't expect much else. But his weapons do remove, and you can just stick those to the side for later. And technically, you can move these little blue pieces. I don't really know why. Maybe he's going in for attack or something. There's not much else you can do with it. In comparison, G1 Skylynx didn't have much in the way of articulation either. He was a big brick of a space shuttle. He did separate from the blue cargo section, but that was part of transformation. Now, officially, Skylynx only has three forms: his spaceplane mode, his dragon mode, and his torso mode. But you see that the Hasbro Takara designers kind of slipped in his other two original G1 modes. I'll show you those after we finish getting through with the base transformations. Alright, to go from space plane to dragon mode, first thing you're going to do is swing his legs out, like this. You're going to rotate them down, should be the other way, and you're going to take the blue pieces and flip them up. Bring them down and you can bend the knees. Now, a word of advice, most of the Skylynxes I've seen and heard of has a QC issue with these blue lower limbs being extremely loose out of the box. Best way to repair that issue, take these two screws, loosen them, remove the blue leg from the peg, and use super glue or floor polish to build up tightness. If you use the super glue, please make sure that you let it cure all the way before you do that. And then rebuild the leg and you should be good. Now, after you have the legs folded down, You take his lower chest here, you flip it up, and then these two legs flip out and swing to the side. You bring the lower chest back together, fix his front legs however you want to put them, and take the rear tail section, flip that down. You can apply his shuttle mode guns to the tail to make the tail complete. If I could put the tail on right. There we go. You're going to fold these tail sections up. You're going to flip these out and flip your shuttle wings up and over and finish extending those. And last but not least, you're going to grab him by the cockpit and yank. The neck comes out on a hinge joint right here. Then you're going to break his neck twice, 2 times. And you can open his mouth. At that point, Skylynx is now his dragon mode. Now, in dragon mode, Skylynx looks very similar to his Generation 1 counterpart. The color layout is very much the same. You have the appropriate blue in the places that should be blue. You have the red in places that should be red. You have the whites in areas that should be white. You have the gold accents where they need to be. His wings are a little bit more swept forward than what the G1 version is. But he has a lot more articulation in this mode than the original did. The original was pretty much just a brick because he had a battery-operated gimmick that let him walk. But you also get a little bit more articulation because he has his neck that can move in the G1, but his neck can move better in the Combiner Wars toy because you get that full range back, full range front. You can actually swivel the neck 360 degrees, and along with the other 2 joints, get some pretty expressive head. You can almost kind of look underneath him, whereas original Skylynx just goes up and down. It's expressive enough for the time of when original Skylynx was made, but it's not the same. The tail is quite a bit longer on Skylynx and jointed on the G1 version compared to the Combiner Wars, because his tail only really moves up and down a little bit here and on the joint right there. Now, the Combiner Wars Skylynx does have better posability and movability. His front legs actually go up and down, and a nice little ratchet. They can go back and forth. He has a thigh swivel, and he has a knee that can go from 90 degrees forward. And he has a little movement in the blue foot. His wings technically can move up and down and back and forth and waggle on right here, though I don't know why you would really want to. His rear leg is very similar. It doesn't have the outward movement, but it does go up and down like so. Rotate. Has a thigh swivel. Oh, there went the weapons. And it has a knee bend. See if I can get you a better view of that. And the lower leg also rotates. So you have a good bit of movement on there. He is a good successor in this mode. I like the updated version of Skylynx. Some people don't. As I said, he does have the QC issue with the rear legs being a little funky, but it's easy enough to fix with some floor polish. Now, as you can see in the background, I have Skylynx, the original Skylynx, in his alternate modes, the Dragon Bird and the Lynx mode. You can approximate these versions with Skylynx, the CW version. I'll show you how to do it in a way to get to his torso mode. Now, first thing we're going to do is the Dino Bird mode, because it's going to probably be the easiest. We're going to go from his Dragon mode, fold his legs back, swing these outward, lift up his chest, and basically all we're going to do is tuck these back where they go, as if you were putting them into shuttle mode. Dino Bird mode is basically just halfway to transform into shuttle. You can swing his legs out, and there he is in his Dino Bird mode. Get that set right. There you go. As you can see, he looks very similar. I knocked the tail off earlier, and I haven't put them back together, so just imagine he has that nice long tail. But it's a very good approximation of the Dino Bird mode. It looks good. It invokes the image of the original toy. It's not bad for a fan transformation, I think so. Now, to get into his Lynx mode, we'll start again from Dragon mode. First thing we want to do, fold his wings up like this, and put him in this position here. Basically, you'll just turn his legs 180 degrees, and make his back legs, his front legs, his back legs, his back legs, his front legs. Simple enough. Next thing we're doing, the panel in the back right here, flip this up. You're going to flip this all the way around. Get that out the way. And turn the Lynx head around. And set the tail fin in the chest groove right there. You're going to take his dragon head, put this panel back down, put it back in the shuttle position, clamp that back in place, fold that out, and there you have Sky Lynx in his Lynx mode. Now, in comparison to the G1 toy, it's a close enough approximation, but I wouldn't call it a success. If you really want Combiner Wars Sky Lynx to have his Lynx mode, there it is. It's a mode I gladly skip. I much prefer the Dino Bird mode over this. Now that we've gotten those other two modes out of the way, let's show you his torso mode. The easiest way to do this is to go from his dragon mode. And to do that, we straighten his legs, go straight up and down with them. Yank on the front foot, the little gray piece flips out, revealing the combiner port, and tucks all the way to the back of the leg. You can then straighten these out to create his lower legs. His upper torso, you're going to take these, straighten them up, and fold the legs all the way to the back, to where they're on the top of the shuttle. You're going to pop this out. You're going to bend this all the way out, fold it out. Don't get stuck, come on. Sink the chest fin in there. Make sure his legs are straight. And you're going to fold the legs out like this. Fold the blue pieces down, it locks them into place. And you're going to turn the head around and fold out the chest wings. Now, for the robot mode wings, you can either leave them down like this, folding everything up. I like to actually bring them up to the top and fold them out. Gives them a more Predaking kind of look in it for his combined mode. Now, official instructions say to take his head, straighten it back out, stick it down right here, and have his cockpit sticking out of his butt. I don't like that. Instead, we're going to keep it in that mode and flip it up like this. It makes a nice little backpack, sticks to him perfectly, and doesn't upset his back. And here is Skyrain in all his glory. Now, I don't have the wave of deluxes that Skyrain is supposed to be formed out of. That would be Wheeljack, Hound, Smokescreen, and Trailbreaker. So I'm just using a couple of extras I have around. I happen to like Skyrain in this mode. He'll probably look a lot better with the figures he's supposed to be with, just for color coordination wise. But he has at least as good of a posability as Superion does. In this mode, his arms can move without too much worry about the Optimus Prime Minosaur mode issues of the shoulders moving. They do occasionally, but for the most part, you can get a couple of clicks of movement before that happens. And even then, it's just easy enough to hold down the little blue piece to hold them in place, as you can see. Skylynx's guns for his shuttle mode and his tail and his other modes turns into a big sword for him. His leg articulation is actually, like I said, at least as good as Superion's. He can pull off the one knee pose pretty well. You can get him with a pretty wide stance. Let's see if I can get this right on here. If I can get it right here, like I did before. There we go. So you can get him a pretty nice dynamic stance with his legs. I really do like how he looks in this mode. The Lynx head might, and there went the foot. The Lynx head might throw off some people because it makes it a more animalistic combiner than what we're used to seeing. Because even Predaking has a robot head, even though he's made out of 5 animals. Not bad. Now he's not going to stand up, so we're just going to stick him back in normal mode. But I like Skylynx. Some people don't. Mostly the big issue is that he didn't officially have his Dino Bird in his Lynx mode. But as I showed you, you can kind of approximate it. I find myself not even combining Skylynx. I transform him and mess around with him from Dragon mode to Shuttle mode at least a couple of times a day just because it's a fun little transformation. It's not too difficult. And once you see how everything goes, it all kind of flows together and works very well. So I would suggest picking him up. I like him. He's not too bad. He could have been a lot worse. And he's the first official Skylynx toy we've had in quite a while. As always, this has been DS with my review of Transformers Combiner Wars Voyager class Skylynx.